Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping into something really cool, a super detailed, fan-speculated story for the next Resident Evil. And I'm telling you, this is way more than just a theory. It's like a complete script, put together by fans who are clearly passionate. So let's get right into the world of Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
So our story gets started with a mystery that's been sitting cold for 8 years. Back in 2018, a really famous journalist, Elisa Ashcraft, is murdered. Fast forward to 2026, and her daughter finds herself right back at that same hotel. Only this time, she's not just a grieving daughter, she's an FBI analyst, and she is dead set on finding out what really happened.
And this is where we meet our first main character, Grace Ashcraft. Look, she's not just working any old case. This is a personal crusade for her. She is absolutely convinced there's a huge government cover-up about Raccoon City, and that it's all connected to her mother's murder.
Pretty quickly, Grace starts to see a really disturbing pattern. All the victims in this string of weird deaths, they're all survivors from Raccoon City, and they all have this strange, black bruising. And if that wasn't weird enough, the government is doing some really sketchy things, like extending the Raccoon City lockdown all the way to 2040 and pulling out of a major bioweapons treaty. Something is definitely not right here.
Just when she gets a major break in the case, she finds a diary and this mysterious disc that her mom hid, the whole thing blows up in her face. The people she's been investigating, well, they find her first. An old umbrella scientist, a guy named Victor Gideon, shows up out of nowhere. And just like that, Grace goes from being the hunter to the hunted. She's been kidnapped.
But Grace isn't the only one sniffing around this case. We've got a legendary hero on the same trail. And this time, he's not just fighting monsters. He's literally fighting for his own life.
So you see, the story is really built around these two characters. You've got Grace Ashcraft, the young, hungry FBI analyst digging up the past. And then you've got him, the one and only Leon S. Kennedy. He's 49 now, a seasoned pro who's seen it all. But he's hiding a pretty big secret.
So yeah, here's the bombshell. Leon is dying. Remember the T-virus from all the way back in Raccoon City? Well, turns out it's been dormant inside him this whole time. A literal ticking time bomb that's just gone off. The irony is just staggering. The legendary survivor, the guy who made it out, is being taken down from the inside by the very plague that started it all.
But don't you dare count him out yet. Leon tracks the bad guys to that same hotel from the beginning of the story, plows his way through another zombie outbreak, and manages to rescue Grace from this creepy chronic care center. He's proving that even while he's dying, he is still an absolute predator.
Okay, so now Grace and Leon are together, and this is where the story just blows wide open. What started as a personal quest to solve a murder, it's now about unraveling a massive global conspiracy involving shadowy grooves and the absolute darkest secrets of bioterrorism. And right at the heart of all this chaos is one code name, Elpis. Everybody wants it. You've got rogue scientists, corporate syndicates, governments, they're all scrambling for it. But what is it? A new bioweapon? Some kind of mind control thing? That's the question on everyone's mind. The main bad guys here are this ruthless syndicate called the Connections. Get this, they actually orchestrated the missile strike on Raccoon City just to take their biggest competitor, Umbrella, off the board. Their leader is a guy named Zeno, a clone who has all of Albert Wesker's powers, but apparently none of his charm.
Just when it seems like our heroes are getting a handle on things, they're ripped apart. Zeno gets his hands on Grace, and he tells her this cryptic line about her being the key to Elpis. Then he takes her to the one place in the entire world that has haunted Leon's dreams for 28 years. He's forcing a homecoming Leon never wanted.
That's right. After almost 3 decades, Leon S. Kennedy has to go back to the city, back to the memories, back to Raccoon City. But this time, it's not just a graveyard, it's ground zero for this global conspiracy.
Leon's return to the city is just brutal. He finds out the BSAA, an organization he's supposed to trust, is corrupt, working with the Connections. He hears that Cress Redfield is out there, operating in the shadows with his own team. And of course, he has to fight an upgraded Mr. X and even a merc who fights exactly like Hunk. All he's got to rely on is his powerful sidearm, the Requiem.
And that brings us to the climax of this whole thing. This is where every secret finally comes out, where we learn the truth about Project Elpis, and where that title, Requiem, really hits home.
So here's the ultimate plot twist.
Elpis, the thing everyone thought was the next superweapon, it's actually the ultimate cure, a universal antivirus for every single BOW Umbrella ever cooked up. It wasn't Spencer's final evil masterpiece, it was his one act of repentance, a requiem for all the people who died and a tiny sliver of hope for the world.
It all comes down to Grace. She finds out she was an orphan that Spencer himself adopted and that only she can release Elpis. But Leon, on his deathbed, makes her promise to destroy it. He's terrified of anything Spencer created, so she's stuck. Does she honor a dying hero's last wish, or does she trust a madman's last hope?
And this leads to two possible endings. In the bad ending, Grace does what Leon asked. The place self-destructs and Leon dies protecting her. It's tragic. But in the canon ending, Grace chooses hope. She unleashes Elpis, grabs a dose of the cure, and injects Leon, saving his life right there on the spot.
And what happens next is just pure, unfiltered Leon. No longer held back by the T-virus, he's finally unchained. He completely takes apart the mutated Victor Gideon. And just when you think they're done for in the collapsing lab, who swoops in for the rescue? Chris Redfield and his Hound Wolf squad.
So, the story wraps up with a real sense of hope. Leon's cured, and he makes sure Sherry gets the cure too. The existence of Elpis opens up brand new investigations into the government and the connections. Grace finds a new purpose, adopting Emily, another one of the lab's victims. And we're left with the promise that Leon and Chris are about to have a long overdue reunion.
In the end, Project Elpis has changed everything. A cure for all the old nightmares actually exists now. But that just leaves us with one massive, lingering question, doesn't it? Just because you can cure the old weapons, does that stop anyone from creating new ones? What do you think happens next?